Hi Harsh, how is the preparation going? We'll wait for a couple of minutes for more people to join in. Let me see. So anyway, I'm starting. So this is our fourth session or the second last session of the CMAT special classes edition. Earlier we had, in our very first session we talked about what CMAT is and why one should be taking CMAT and not taking CMAT in a light mood, how it can act as a very viable backup as far as getting into top B school is concerned. Then we talked about how CMAT is going to be different from other B school exam, its difficulty level and all. Then in the second session I talked to you about, I think, the most important section of CMAT, or I would say the USP of CMAT, that is your GK and how and why you should not be taking it lightly and start preparing for it ASAP. One good development that we are seeing these days is that, that we are seeing right now is that IFT is on 24th of Jan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, I think it's around 24th of Jan, and I believe that then after 7 days it should be CMAT. Otherwise, there are chances that CMAT and IFT might clash. But again, we have seen a similar situation in the past years as well, where CAT and IFT were clashing once, but then it was kind of sorted, and there was a difference of 1 week between them. GK material IMS, should I consider that? You can go ahead with that, but I would suggest you to get hold of that Pearson guide as well. If not the new one, at least buy it a second hand one. I think that would be feasible. I'm talking about only the static part. If you are having dynamic, okay, that's good, but I think for the static part you should get hold of that, or maybe borrow it from somebody. Some of your friends might be preparing for UPSC as well, so I think that, or if you could get it from market second hand, that would be good, right? Except for, I think, organization part and some of the things here and there, I think the syllabus is going to be same. So even if you get it, say an old version of Pearson book, I think that would be good. Otherwise, I would advise that you do take a look on that Pearson guidebook, because they have done very fine job as far as what to leave and what not to leave, and what are the important aspect of any event that has happened in history, or say in our politics. So yeah, where was I? Yeah. In the third session, I think we talked about VARC and how to go about it. Why, again, VARC is something that you have to put a lot of your focus on. I think in every section over here, CMAT is a very scoring exam. So anybody who is a serious contender of, say, CAT or any IFT and MET exam will able to clock, I guess, around 260 270 marks. The real competition starts after you have reached the 270 mark that I spoke about. And today again we have a session on how to prepare for quant, data interpretation and logical reasoning. There is not much that I will be speaking on, because the best part about quantitative aptitude is that no matter you take TIS exam, you take CAT, ZAT, CET, CMAT, NMAT, IFT, or any, even MAT, ATMA. Quants is going to be same. You need not require any special or extra preparation for it. Just one thing, that you might be leaving a couple of chapters here and there as far as other B school exams are concerned. For example, binomial base system theory, base system. There's a chapter called base system. Then even in LR there are many chapters that you might not witness in say CAT exam, or you don't witness in CAT exam these days. So that is something that you should not be leaving out. I will be coming to it, that what all what do you say, areas you have been tested in CMAT in the, I think, the last 4 or 5 turns. And then yeah, I think there's not much to talk about right now. And okay, and but the last session, I think day after tomorrow, that is going to be very, very important one. So because I'm seeing not many people turning up today, I would just advise you and request you to please share this thing with other some of your friends as well, that the last session that we'll be having, say I think day after tomorrow, I think that's going to be the most vital one, where I'll be discussing about what one should be doing a week prior to your CMAT exam and how to attempt the CMAT paper. That is going to be very, very important. And also I'll be taking in a lot of doubts on that day. Otherwise you can post it today as well, right? Just a sec. Okay, let's start. I think we are done with 5-7 minutes already. So yeah, I think before moving on, I think again, like how I start my presentation over here is the you have to go through the important points that one should be remembering before plunging into say any section. The first and foremost thing in terms of preparation is that don't leave any chapter untouched, whether it is logical reasoning or quant. I think I have been saying about this time and again, that here you will be tested might be on a difficulty level, but whether you are aware of a particular chapter or not. You cannot leave any chapter over here, because CMAT is a very comprehensive exam. They will test you on, I think, on almost every subject. If you are talking about 25 questions, just take it as if you are being tested in 25 different chapters. It's a very rare case where you will be finding more than two questions from the single chapter. Otherwise you will be facing almost every question from every different area of quantitative aptitude. In LR, I think LR is vast. You may not have only 25 areas. I would say you can have, I mean, there is no end to LR. You can have different types of question coming in. For example, if I talk about the CAT exam, I think from 1998 to 2008, the kind of question that used to appear in CAT exam, I think you find similar question in say IFT, NMAT, and SNAP. But today, I think things have changed in the CAT exam, and that required a very special kind of preparation as far as LR is concerned, right? So if you get hold of say any popular book of say LRDI, which has questions of the era of 1998 to 2008, I mean 10 years question bank of CAT. I think Arun Sharma comes up with that kind of material. I would say in that book there is a section called LR for non-CAT exams. I think even different coaching institute, they come up with a new, I would say, a booklet, a special booklet for non-CAT exams. So I think you should be going through it, get your basics right, and please solve at least LOD 1 you should be solving. I would suggest you go for LOD 2 as well, to be honest, because I will be discussing with you, like in the third point I have mentioned that your merit or your rank, the top rank, will be based on the last 3-5 questions that you will be attempting. For example, in every section you will be having 25 questions, and any serious contender will be able to crack at least 20 questions. I give you the paper today itself, and you will be able to crack around 17 to 18 questions with the level of preparation that you might be having right now. And that's not a tough nut to crack, to be honest. But your merit or rank will be based on those last 3 to 4 or maybe 5 questions, and the difficulty level of those questions will be high. Let me tell you that. So don't, you might be, I mean, going through question bank and all with very easy questions, but definitely 3-5 questions होंगे ऐसे which will be at par with say the difficulty level of maybe IFT, right? And you have to be very concerned and cautious about getting those 3-5 questions right, because that's where things will get messy, right? And yeah, I mean, and the second most will be an LR maintain a decent speed since ROI is low. So what I mean by saying is that you talk about any B school entrance exam, be it CAT, IFT, NMAT, SNAP, CET. What happens over there is when you are given a caselet or a case study, or say maybe a case or question, you have 3 to 4 questions attached with it. For example, you do a question, say for example, what do you call it? Matrix formation kind of question that you might be practicing these days. For example, you will be having names of the candidates over here, then to which place they belong to, where they go to office, what ice cream they like, what clothes they wear, and this and that, and you kind of make a table, right? And it takes time. Obviously, if we take ballpark figure of say 3 minutes, you will be taking 3 minutes, but at the end of 3 minutes, what you will be left with 3 to 4 questions pertaining to it. So it is a very good bet, I would say, that in a way that within 4 or 5, within say 4.5 minutes, you are able to get say 3 or 4 questions right. In case of CMAT, it is rarely seen that a case has 2 or 3 questions attached to it, right? So what happens is that if you have 25 questions, barring say 10 questions, 15 questions would be based on say caselets kind of question. For example, linear arrangement. You'll have circular arrangement. You might have square kind of arrangement. You might have something called logical sequence or something like that. And the only bad thing about it is that if you are investing 2-3 minutes onto it, or maybe 4 minutes in some cases, at the end of the day you are only left with one question to answer. So it does get a bit frustrating at times. But yeah, in that I think LR is somewhere that might put brakes on your speed. You have to be very very cautious, very alert when it comes to LR, that you don't overshoot your targeted time. For example, if you are giving say 30 minutes on, not 30, say maybe 40 minutes on quant, 40 minutes LRD, and 40 minutes on VARC. So you have to make sure that you are able to get all LR questions right within 40 minutes, or maybe 35, whatever target the time that you have targeted, right? LR में ये वाली चीज़ आपको ध्यान रखनी पड़ेगी. And again, like I said, no chapter has to be, left untouched, be it quants or LR. LR, I think it's infinite. The more different kind of books you pick up of different coaching institute, the more kind of different case studies, or caselet we will be getting if I talk about the logical reasoning part. And the data, again, I've been making this mistake that quants are clubbed with DI itself. We don't have LRDI kind of section like in CAT, where LR and DI are kind of together in a particular section. LR is different in CMAT, then we have Quant and DI as a different section, then we have VARC as different, and then we have GK as the fourth and last section. So here the quants will be clubbed with your DI, and in DI you will not be provided with any kind of calculator, and the question will be calculation intensive, to say the least. Right, the kind of question that appear in NMAT specifically. So any doubts till now, just let me know. It could be doubt from the previous session as well. There's no harm in discussing about something that is not pertaining to this session. It could be about GK, it could be about even VARC, anything like that. You can ask me over here. Otherwise we have a last session on it, day after tomorrow, very important session, I would say. Just a sec. Anybody facing problems with mocks or anything like that? Although I haven't recommended anybody to take up CMAT mocks, but rather I would suggest you to go for say IFT mocks at least. I mean IFT is again one of the most comprehensive exams out there. They test you on almost everything. So start hitting the mocks. It's high time now. I think you might be having your Diwali holidays by now, I think, because different V school, I think that those holidays will be starting from tomorrow. At least in Narsi Munji, it's the case. It's that the case. So I think if you are having Diwali holidays, whether you are in college or working, I think these 6-7 days are going to be extremely crucial as far as preparation is concerned. It's just like a blessing in disguise for every CAT aspirant. I think CAT is not, not far from here. I guess only 3 weeks, I believe. So you have to give 6-7 weeks, I would say. Try to get the maximum out of it. Any question, guys, till here, or else I just move further? Any doubt regarding our previous session? Any doubt regarding SNAP exam as well? Because I can guide you on SNAP as well. Okay, anyway, I'm moving further. Just a sec. I think this is fine. Okay, so yeah, I'll be discussing with you the chapters that typically appear in CMAT exam. Some of the chapters are very kind of common. For example, number system, speed, time, distance. Again, I said that if there are 25 questions, there must be 25 chapter. Here you might not be seeing that, but the thing is that within number system there are so many subtopics, right? You have LCM kind of question, then you have what you call special numbers, then you might be having divisibility rules. So in that case, I think you will be tested on 25 different topics, 25 different areas. Then we have speed, time, distance. I think in 2018 slot 2 number system enjoyed the maximum chunk of the whole paper, and then in 2019 we had 6 question about geometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry combined. So you can see if you go down, I think this is something that you must be preparing for right now. The only catch over here is that you will be, out of 25 questions, 20 questions anybody will be able to do, but you have to make sure that you get the other 5 questions right. And those questions you are required and expected to any good coaching material, at least LOD 2 you will have to do. I think those 5 questions will be from LOD 2 only. There might be one question in maybe one of the other section that you might have to leave because it would be maybe difficult, but again, if you think that you will be able to get it, there is no harm in it, but just make sure that you don't spend much time on it, right? For example, this year there was a question I spent around 5 minutes on it. Maybe I was not able to interpret it in a correct manner. Even it was kind of I won't say controversial, but the language is something that not everybody was able to understand. I mean, different coaching institute was coming up with a different answer, but again, there was only one question in quants. I don't remember it exactly, and I wasted a fair amount of time in it. But then by that my paper was almost finished, so I had nothing to lose in that question. Then again we have geometry. Okay, we have done it. Time and work, again ratios, again I think the ratios has been consistent. Then we have averages, probability. I guess in 2019 they came up with 3 questions. Permutation, combination, again 2020 we had around 3 questions. So I think these are the permutation and probability are the hot favorites as far as leaving is concerned, many people kind of leave it, don't do it. If we talk about the CAT exam, for the last 2 years, I think there are only 1 or 2 questions coming up from these 2 areas combined, but that doesn't mean that you should be leaving it. Even CAT is very unpredictable. It won't be a surprising factor if even in this year CAT you see a good number of questions, significant number of questions coming from these 2 areas. So I mean, CAT is always known for throwing surprises. They do it every year, and even in this year you can expect something on those lines. So anyway, building on that, I think that you should not be leaving any chapter over here. I mean, leaving any chapter as far as CMAT is concerned, I think it would be a sin, to be honest, because like I said, 1-2 questions here and there, and you just risking of not getting into top B school. It's as simple as that. I had for example, in LR, I was not. LR was something of very very weak area. I believe even today I find it a bit difficult. I mean, while I was preparing the the slides, I was able to recall that how badly I was struggling in the LR section. So, but despite that, I had to go through every LR concept, because I knew that I might be tested on it in the CMAT exam. So here also you will have to do something about permutation, combination, probability kind of chapters that people generally leave, but you should not be leaving it as far as the CMAT or any other B school, for example, is concerned. Then we have profit and loss. I think again very good chapter. We have CISI, that is nothing but compound interest and simple interest. Quadratic equation, it's been seen that it's not a very good favorite among CMAT exam paper maker, but still you should be doing it. Even the log question haven't turned up, but I think that it did turn up, I think in 2016, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, clocks is something that we usually see in LR, but I think sometimes they do put in they interchange the areas. For example, you might find a probability question in LR and LR subject in a quantitative aptitude. So be ready with those kind of prizes as well. Right? Clocks is also something that people are not much aware of. Maybe they kind of distance themselves from it, because it requires a fair deal of understanding. Then we have inequalities. Stats is something, again, it's very rare to have stats question, but we did have one question. So I think that even stats not that difficult. I mean, you should be doing it whenever you get time. It won't require more than a day. There was one question I remember I think in 2018 itself, 2019 itself, I don't remember, something on the lines of 6 sigma. For example, they were asking about normal distribution, and then I don't know, even I never heard of it, but if you do come across, then you can ask your tutor about it, whether they can teach you that subject. I mean, I couldn't make out whether that question was from stats or somewhere else. It was that weak, but anyway, that was just one question in the last 4 turn. Then we have trigonometry, again not a massive favorite among CMAT test makers. Then we have set theory, right? And then comes the data interpretation part. Although this year we had around 5 questions, but generally it's not very much tested. But again, data interpretation is something that I think everybody should be knowing about, and be prepared with the heavy calculation that comes up with it. For example, if you talk about me, I did not rely much on the Vedic maths, but definitely I had kind of memorized ratios from say 1/2 to 1/60. So I never had any problem as far as the DI is concerned. And I would suggest you, if you get time, if you are not able to say come up with a trick or something like that, to say divide 4-digit number upon 3-digit number, something like that, I would advise you to memorize the 1/2 से लेके 1/60 तक का ratio, percentage or maybe ratio, whatever you may call. I think that becomes very easy. Life becomes very easy with that. So although there are videos on YouTube as well, I memorized till 1 by 25 is that 1 by I mean nothing you cannot say then it is. I would suggest 1 by 50 tak to I think you should be doing it. For example, my strategy used to be that I used to divide it till the time that I get my denominator in the range of say 50, around at least 60. 1 to 60 tak bhi agar mera denominator aa jata tha, then I would just simply multiply the numerator with the ratio of say 1 by 60 or 1 by 50. Simple. And I never had any problem with DI. 1 by 25 is still a good number. I would still suggest कि at least 1 by 50 तक तो कर ही लो, right? और अगर 25 में भी काम हो जाता है then that's not an issue. But I would suggest 1 by 60 तक करो, because at times you may find that the options are very much similar. I mean the decimals are not that distinct. You might find that they are almost similar, and that kind of poses a very huge problem. I mean. You will have to then you will have to go through a traditional way of just dividing it, because you are not able to get the right approximate answer. So there it generally happens. So I would suggest you to go through the ratios, and then you have data interpretation, same time types of question that specifically appear. I think even if you don't like IFT mocks, I think NMAT mocks is very much in line with the kind of LR or quant, even VARC is concerned. If you are able to get hold of the NMAT mocks, or maybe you like NMAT more than IFT, I think you can go ahead with that as well. I think there is no harm, because that's also a speed-based test. Although CMAT is not a speed-based, but it's all about not getting any question wrong. And again, a GK portion plays a very huge part. Otherwise, they all same. I think NMAT is also a very good, I would say, backup option as far as the mocks are concerned. And I think NMAT exams are on their way, I believe. I think they have started from October 1st itself. They do start from October 1st every year. I think you must, I mean, how many of you have actually taken the NMAT exam right now, at least the first attempt? If anybody has attempted it. Okay, anyway, moving on towards the LR part. Now this is something, let me zoom in. This required a bit of zooming in. Yeah, so we have again a very, I think it's a hot favorite for the CMAT, the blood relation. I think this area comes in NMAT as well. They test you a lot on this topic. And I think this year there was, like I used to say, that in LR what is generally seen in CMAT is that you will be getting a one case, and then only one question will be attached to it. But this year there was a kind of a paradigm shift in the fact that in this blood relation question that you are seeing right now, 4 questions in 2020 came up, but all 4 questions were attached to just one case. There was just one big question on blood relation. It was a bit tricky, but still I think it was easy. And then there were 4 questions pertaining to it. So anybody who would want to have a high or expecting a high ROI on a particular question, I think CMAT 2020 LR had one such question. And then we have logical sequence. This is a bit tricky. I would suggest in LR, I would suggest you go practice as much as possible, because here LR is not about your IQ. I mean, anybody getting good marks in LR, be it SNAP or CMAT or even NMAT, it's not about IQ. It's all about how much you are familiar with the particular topic. Try to assimilate with as many topics as possible in LR, because LR is just vast, is simply vast, and there's no end to it. For example, every B school entrance exam has a different kind of LR set. So I would advise you to go through almost every concept that you might be coming across, or you might be being taught in your, say, coaching institute, and don't take it in a light mood. because many a times the only difference between somebody doing it and not able to do it is just because the other guy just read about it or had practiced a couple of questions on it. So it's just about approach over here, nothing special about it. For example, even if I talk about the binary logic, if you go by the logic, every binary logic might not make much sense to you, because it's just happened कि मतलब वो होता है, वो है देख लेना binary logic. It might not be making much sense to you, but there is a trick to it, there is a method to it, how you actually perform a binary logic kind of question. So you should be going through it as well. Then we have the matrix arrangement, the kind of arrangement that you see, like I talked about 10 minutes back, that you will be having what do you call, people on the left side will be making a table, and then what clothes they wear, what ice cream they eat, or what sports they play, and this and that. So such kind of questions do appear, although it did not appear in 2020, so it did save a lot of time. But again, like till 2018 they were vastly kind of taking a major chunk of the LR portion. Then we have linear arrangement, not surprising, not very special about. Syllogism, something again, a good amount of practice is required. There are several videos on almost every topic that you are seeing right now. Even if your coaching institute or your book does not have a particular option, particular area, then it's dead sure that these concepts are being taught in, say, IBPS PO kind of exam. I think the syllabus is almost same. For example, if you talk about IBPS PO, anybody who is an aspirant of IBPS PO exam, or maybe even SSC CGL, I think CMAT has to be on the forefront if he or she is mending his way, or maybe trying to get into an MBA field. So I think that CMAT is a kind of exam that definitely will give him or her an edge as far as getting into MBA is concerned. It's very much on the same lines as well as far as the IBPS PO SSC CGL is concerned. Then we have team formation, not the kind of team formation exam question that we witness in CAT exam. That is very, very typical, I would say, right? But here it will be on a lower level, but still I think if you do come across or solve a couple of CAT team formation question, then I think that's a plus point. Then syllogism ho gaya. Roots and networks, again, although they are not, they did not turn up in the last two edition, but still I think this is again something that requires a very special kind of, I won't say skill, but you have to be familiarize yourself. You need to familiarize yourself with the kind of approach that these roots and network demand, right? Then we have inequalities, again, not the kind of inequality that we see in the quants. Here it's all about height, weight and marks ki matlab A ka itna height zyada hai, B se B sits somewhere in the middle, and then so on and so forth. Not that special, but again a good amount of practice is required. Missing number and alphabet is something that I think that you should be, it's difficult, I would say. In my opinion, if you ask me, it is going to be on a medium level, not the easy level, because at times it becomes very, very frustrating, whether it is about finding a missing number or alphabet, right? But yeah, you should be doing it, because in the latest edition, the exam that went by on January 28, I think we witnessed around 4 questions out of 2020. So I like this area a lot, so maybe because, and I got all 4 of them right. Generally you don't see it. You see such kind of question as the hot favorite for, say, CMAT exam. You will find many question on it. Then what do we have? Circular and square arrangement, again a fair bit of practice is required in this as well. Given the fact that you are preparing for, say, IFT, I think that should be sorted. IFT comes up with a very, very good circular kind of arrangement, because I do remember there was a question in 2019 IFT exam, very good question on circular arrangement. It was a bit tricky, I would say. I got stuck in it. but anyway, you should be attempting it. Then we have probability kind of question, although probabilities should be something that should be featuring in your quant area, but here you may find it in LR as well. Sometimes you do find it. Then we have cubes and cuboids, again a kind of subject that entails a good understanding, a good approach towards it, and it is something that you cannot do it on the spot. You need a fair bit of practice, although they are not being featured in the last 3 edition, but anyway you can see it in the coming years. Maybe this year they might come up with such kind of with such area. Then coding decoding, again here again you might not find the kind of coding decoding that, or maybe input output, they're both are almost the same thing. You will find again in NMAT you will find an input output kind of question coming every there and now. I think in every set there will be at least 2 set on decoding coding, or you would say input output kind of question. So you need to have again a good amount of practice on it. Again, don't try to spend much time on any one particular question when you are stuck in your CMAT exam. Like I said, you will be having ample time to go through the entire paper again. So even if you are not able to do it in the first go, rest assured you will be able to do it in the last say maybe in the second try, right? Because anyway you will be going through the whole paper again, and you will have significant time on as well. Then we have strong and weak argument, again a very tricky one, although they don't feature a lot. But again, if you talk about the NMAT exam, 12 to 13 question will be on I guess there are I guess 38 question, if I am not wrong, 38 or 40 question in LRDI in the NMAT, and I believe around 12 to 15 question come from these kind of areas only, from for example inference based question, strong weak argument, conclusion based, assertion based. So I think that if you are a good contender of even NMAT, I think LR is very much in line with the kind of LR that we see in NMAT. So you should be able to. Calendar again is something that is not being asked these days, but again it also required a fair amount of formula memorizing, I would say. There are certain formulas to it. For example, doomsday question is something very famous. Just a sec, let's see YouTube का क्या हाल है. Sir, how to do GK and current affair in 2 months time? Divya Rana is asking. See, to be honest, 2 month time is not as ideal as it should look like. But like I said, I believe that you should be going through my second, not second, I guess, yeah, second session. You should be looking at my second session, and 2 months time I would advise you to simply go through the static one and only cover the important section. I have talked to you about the kind of books that you should be purchasing. I would ask you to refrain from Lucent, I would say, and maybe Manorma. Yeah, Manorma, if I have pronounced it correctly. You should be refraining from it, given the fact that they're just simply huge and you just don't have much idea about what should be actually appearing in the exam. For example, if I talk about IBPS PO or maybe say CMAT exam, things would be basically on a surface level, and they won't be digging deep into as far as framing the question GK is concerned. So I think that 2 months time, I think it's very very less. But assuming that you know a bit about what's happening, or maybe you might be good with your dynamic GK. If you are good with your dynamic GK, then I think that even static 2 months you can do a fair bit of thing. I mean, a preparation in 2 months of time as well, and maybe able to get at least 10 out of 25 question right. Otherwise, I think you should be starting from today itself. Hello Bala. How to start quant section? See, again, I'm assuming that you should be able to prepare every chapter. So I don't think that any question you will be stuck up with as far as quant is concerned. But anyway, if you ask me how to go about it, my strategy was simple. I did not have a favorite subject kind of thing. So I just started from the top and just went till the bottom. any question that was something that I was not familiar with, although it did not occur to me even in the mock test that I used to take, because I was thoroughly prepared with almost every subject. At least the LOD1 kind of LOD1 question I was able to, I had prepared for it, so I never kind of faced any difficulty as far as, or maybe any special kind of strategy required as far as CMAT is concerned. One thing I would suggest in the quant and DI section is that because they are clubbed together, I would suggest you to go for DI in the last. It doesn't matter even if you might be very good with your calculation, or maybe you might have prepared very well for with the what do you call Vedic maths as well, but still I would advise you to keep DI at last. Maybe in the last of all the CMAT. Once you're done with even GK, I would suggest after you are done with your GK, you should be hitting the DI question. Otherwise, because the problem with DI is that they are very calculation intensive, and it might be if options come very close, then it becomes a kind of a headache, and you won't be wanting yourself to burn out very early on in your exam. So I would suggest DI वाला part को थोड़ा बाद में करो तो better होगा. Now again moving on to the LR part. Again calendars को आपको देखना पड़ेगा. It is mostly about that famous doomsday question, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, I don't remember the exact formula to it, because what I remember was that I was not made aware of or maybe taught in my coaching institute about the doomsday question. In fact, they refrained students to take up the doomsday question, but I think that it is fairly good in my opinion. Only a slight tweak that you should be doing in. For example, if you do come across a very rare kind of calendar question, but still even any sane mind would be able to do it with the doomsday question as well. So I think you should be looking at it and not just simply say that it is not a good equation, or it has flaws in it, or this and that. Analogy, then we have analogy again. Analogy here, one more interesting fact about analogy in the LR section is concerned is that even here your vocab skills would be at the forefront, I would say. So here you won't be able to save yourself from a bad vocab skill, because analogy will be mostly based on your vocab over here. Mostly they hardly ask analogy on say numbers, but they would be asking you on a word, a meaningful word, right? So you have to be again very much prepared with it. And again, visual reasoning is something that I think this year they did ask, but anyway, again a very natural thing. Not much of a preparation is required. It's just that a presence of mind is required in it. Again, assertion reasoning, conclusion, strong and weak arguments. This is one area in LRDI that requires, I would say, serious amount of preparation. Because what you think about a particular situation might not be something in line with what the author thinks, or maybe a rational guy thinks. For you, it might be very rational to come up with a solution, but that may not be always in line with the kind of thinking that you have. So it's kind of a very open-ended area as far as the NMAT or even the CMAT is concerned. Especially in NMAT, you might come across, you will find many questions that might not, the solution of which might not be making much sense to you. So you will come across that area as well. So I think with the fair amount of practice, I think even that can be mastered. Otherwise, I used to be, I would say I used to be, but definitely I did not like solving those questions, but I had to do it anyway, because the solution did not make much sense to me, right? And then we have what is called shapes. Now shapes over here is not, it might be sounding a bit odd, but shapes here is वही वाली चीज़ रहती है. For example, you will be getting a figure which is very cluttered kind of, it will be a very cluttered kind of figure, and then you will be asked to find out how many diagonals are there, how many circles are there, how many triangles can be made out of it, how many rectangles and squares can be found out of it. Again, it requires a fair amount of practice again you should not be counting it there. There is dedicated formula to find out about the triangle and all, how many triangles. Again you will be finding it there. Again very a favorite question as far as the IBPS PO is concerned, because I had to find the solution of it or the methodology towards it in the YouTube videos of IBPS PO as far as the shapes are concerned, because none of my coaching material had any clue about how to go about it. I mean, I'm not saying they did not have a clue, it's just that they did not cover that area properly. And you do come across such kind of question. Even there was a question in Snap as well, and I got that correct as far as I remember, right? And then what do we have? Positioning, again very easy one, and conclusion I've talked to you about. So one thing you have to make sure is that no matter how easy the question paper is, you have to bear in mind that there must be at least 3 to 4 questions that require a special kind of attention, I would say, because the question will not be in line with the kind of other 18-19 question that you will be solving. 18-19 question, I give you the question paper even today itself, you will be able to clock say 15 to 16 question right out of 25. But like I said, the merit will be based on the last 3-4 question, right? So you have to be very sure and very much prepared for solving those 3-4 question. कौन सा बुक सही रहेगा इंग्लिश के लिए? English, I suggested you should start practicing. I talked to you about the English in complete detail in my session number 4. So I would advise Nirmal to go through it. Otherwise book तो यार कोई भी चलेगी, word list का है पूरा. I think if I talk about the CMAT exam, it will be heavily based on your vocab skills. So if you are somebody who is starting today, so I would just suggest you go for any word list and start memorizing, although that's a very mundane kind of path, very boring path. But anyway, if you want to save time on it, I would suggest you 2 महीने की बात, 3 months की बात है. Anyway, just get hold of it, try to memorize as much as possible, and then just simultaneously hit the vocab 24 app, get the exercises, do the exercises, at least 3 exercises per day that we decided upon in my session number 3, sorry. So that's all about VA-RC section. Otherwise there is no book to it. I would suggest you go through here and hit the mocks right away. I think there cannot be a better study material as far as the non-CAT based exams are concerned, right? And any more question? Just bear in mind that इसमें error नहीं होना चाहिए आपका, because the margin of error will be very less, and 2-3 questions here and there, and just you can see yourself out of the game outright. ठीक है, तो आपको यहाँ पे 4-5 क्वेश्चंस काफ़ी अच्छे से देखने पड़ेंगे. अदरवाइज 20 क्वेश्चन तो बहुत ईजी रहेगा आपका. क्वांट में यू शुड बी अगेन डन विथ मोस्ट ऑफ द chapters, and I suppose that what paused? No Harsh, it's not paused. I think things are going fine according to me. Just let me know if the video is paused or not, everyone. Okay, it's fine. So anyway, any question regarding my previous session, or whether about GK, whether it is about VRC, LRDI, quants, because I assume that you must now be prepared with most of the quant topics, LRDI topics, because now the NMAT tests are underway, exams are underway. And again, a good development is that IFT has been postponed to 24th of Jan, so you might not be having much reason about leaving the preparation in the midway. Because what happens is generally what happens every year is that the major exams will be done by say 8th of Jan. For example, on 8th of Jan you have tests and your ZAD exam on the consecutive days, right? And to hold on till the last day of January, it becomes a mammoth task, because by then, if you had performed well in other B school entrance exam, by that time you will be preparing for the GDPI preparation, GDPI of say top-notch B school, and that's where people get lax, and that's where it's golden opportunity to give your everything. CMAT mostly focuses on arithmetic, geometry and all. देखो, see, any exam that says, or any what do you say, mock you take, or any exam you take, the reason we find arithmetic and geometry is not because they have a very strange predilection toward it or any kind of inclination towards it. It's just that there are so many chapters under the umbrella of say arithmetic or geometry. Otherwise, it's not that, I mean, it's not a very important question to ask whether they will test you more on arithmetic or something like that. It's just that there are so many chapters under it, and so obviously they will be testing you on it. Again, in CAT you might find a very radical shift, because there was a time where 33% of the paper was composed of just one area, one chapter, that was number system, and then in 2016 they changed that stance drastically, in a way that not even one question appeared from the number system in 2016 CAT exam. But yeah, good part about CMAT is that you won't be finding such big surprise, and you will be tested on almost on every front. Mocks देना शुरू कर दो. I think it's high time. CMAT तो I think बहुत ज़रूरी है. Even NMAT can do the trick. There is no doubt about it. But I would suggest you go for IFT, because the question, the level of difficulty in IFT, I think in last year, I think last year people, I mean, coaching were not they were not very much interested in non-CAT exams, but I think from last year the level of mocks as far as the non-CAT mocks is concerned went very, very high, I would say. Even in the exams it was evident that there was some question in IFT that were difficult, and we also saw that the quant section in CAT exam, the difficulty went down last year. Otherwise, the previous to previous year, quant was a kind of a tough nut to crack, right? So I think I'm done with today's session. Anything from any input you want from my side, just let me know. CMAT is all about EQ. I would say the whole MBA season will be all about your EQ and less about your IQ, especially the work ex guys, because at times you will feel like you have prepared very well for the exam. For example, it happens in NMAT exam. Some of the exams you will take, you will find it extremely easy, but still not able to breach the 208 mark, the golden mark for which your NMIMS Mumbai will open up. And then you will kind of feel disappointed that despite performing so well, despite expecting good 230 plus marks, you are stuck with only 208 marks. And then again you will be taking a second attempt, putting in good amount of money, and then you will be seeing yourself that despite a very tough examination, in fact, you will still be stuck with somewhere around 205, 206 marks. So it happens because of the large scale normalization that takes place in the NMAT exam. So I think that is kind of a limitation. I think when there is a particular exam that happens in say more than two shift or more than one shift, you always see some of the other things happening in it. Some kind of controversy always happening, that people might be complaining कि sir मेरा exam तो बहुत easy था and I did fairly well, but despite that paper का number उतना अच्छा आया नहीं है, and you would want to go for an RTI or something like that. But it happens every year. So that's something that you should not be very giving much importance to be honest. Class ends in 5 minutes. Okay, I have 5 minutes. Any doubts that you have regarding GK, VAR, LRDI, anything like that, please let me know. Just let me see the YouTube as well. कौन सी बुक सही रहेगा इंग्लिश के लिए? आई हैव टॉक टू यू अबाउट इट. विच मॉक इज बेस्ट any mock यार, कोई भी mock दे दो, but make sure that you don't take CMAT mock, you take IFT, NMAT, SNAP, at least वो वाले mocks दो तो ज़्यादा better होगा. Refrain from CMAT mocks because CMAT mocks are generally very easy and it is, I mean, a justified fact, but again you never know. कभी कभी बहुत difficult भी आ सकता है CMAT mock. Like I said, CMAT exam, like I said, traditionally एक बार ऐसा हुआ था that the topper was able to get only 300 marks, whereas last year we had witnessed the topper getting close to 360 to 370 marks. So you never know. So I would suggest you to always favor the difficult side. CMAT puzzle marks, वो एक एक नंबर के सारे क्वेश्चन होते हैं, ऐसा कुछ वो नहीं है. जीके प्रिपरेशन की टिप्स, आई वुड सजेस्ट रंजन, you go through my session number 2. We had taken a full-fledged session dedicated to only GK. Which college you get with rank 2? The only reason why I took up or maybe took a leap of faith of attempting CMAT, despite knowing the fact that through CMAT traditionally only top 7 rankers generally go in Jamnalal Bajaj. JBIMS was the sole reason why I took up CMAT and I prepared wholeheartedly for it. Otherwise, again I am expecting JBIMS. The only thing being because we are kind of in a very precarious situation, in the fact that there is controversy going on regarding the SCBC reservation, and then we are also in our COVID times, and so things are not clear as to when I will be getting admitted into it. And there are, like me, there are other 120 students out there who will be getting into JB, right? We also had some of the other classes, special classes arranged by JBIMS, because they knew that it will be taking very long for us to to get to the campus or to start our session. So we had some special sessions as well, just to know each other before we start out our MBA journey. Right, otherwise still nothing is clear. CMAT, they should be taking it, obviously they take it every year. Only in 1 year, I guess in 2018, they did not take any CMAT taker, just because of the fact that it was alleged that there was a scam that happened in the CMAT exam, where out of the top 25 students, I think 17 were from the same center. So I think that was the reason why JB did not admit a single guy from CMAT in the JBIMS program. Otherwise they did it last year. Even this year DTE came up with the notification that they will be taking CAT, CT, CMAT, and they excluded MAT, ZAT and ATMA. So even if you are somebody who is preparing for MAT, ATMA, be sure that there are chances that they might not take MAT, ZAT, ATMA again into consideration next year. And CMAT, again, I think CMAT is been predominantly taken, I think since 2012, since the inception of CMAT, they have been taking CMAT takers. But again, on the safer side, I would suggest everybody targeting Jamnalal Bajaj to target at least top 7 ranks, because top 18 में फिर वही dicey हो जाता है. So anyways, I think I'm done with most of the part. Any doubt, anything, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, or maybe just post the comment in the YouTube comment section itself after this video get posted. I am free all the time these days. So anyway, day after tomorrow is going to be a very serious session, the last session. Make sure that you keep your friends informed about it, because we'll be touching upon many stuffs. So anyway, I think we are only left with 10 seconds. So start hitting mocks, and yeah, best of luck everybody. Right. Okay then, bye.